Hi, this is Miss Amy. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're updated. The only thing that is outdated is my last video, which was 8 months ago. So this better be a banger, because today's topic is misrepresentation of Northeast India in Bollywood. So India has 28 states, used to be 29, and 8 union territories, Siklo. But in Bollywood, you won't know that, because most films are overwhelmingly set in the Hindi belt of India. Now you might say, movie hai, movie जैसे देख. But if movies were just movies, देवदास देख के लोग अपनी नस नहीं काट रहे होते. Now let's look at how things happened since I love history. When Bollywood first started growing after independence, the focus was on building a national identity. But that national really meant North Indian, especially Hindi-speaking culture. Through the 50s, 60s and 70s, films like Mother India and Sholay built this template. Gao, Mitti, Mandir, Ma. This was Bollywood's idea of India. The Northeast was already making cinema. Jyoti Prasad Agarwala made Joy Moti in 1935. It was Assam's first film and also one of India's earliest talkies. But when Bollywood was defining Indian cinema in 1950s, they weren't looking east. The Northeast, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, Meghalaya, Tripura and Sikkim makes up 8% of India's total population. That's roughly 112 million people, based on India's 2024 estimated population. To put that in perspective, that's more than the population of countries like Egypt or Philippines. So there's ignorance. Part of it was geography, but part of it was also messy politics. The integration of northeastern states in India was really messy and incomplete. Nagaland signed a 9-point agreement in 1947 for autonomy, which later fell apart, sparking the Naga Rebellion and the introduction of Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958. Manipur had a functioning elected assembly in 1948. But that was dissolved in 1949 when the Maharaja was forced to merge with India under controversial circumstances. Mizoram saw a devastating famine in 1950s, and when Delhi's response was inadequate, anger turned into the Mizo National Famine Front, which later became a separatist movement. This led to the 1966 Aizawl bombing. This was the only time when Indian Air Forces had bombed its own citizens. Tripura's demographic shifted drastically after partition, turning the indigenous population into a minority in their own state. Instead of being integrated, the region was treated as sensitive, border territory, and other. And that showed up in films as complete silence. By the 80s and 90s, Bollywood went full NRI mode. DDLJ showed London, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum had UK mansions, Kal Ho Na Ho had New York, Punjab and Gujarat were on screen. NRIs got full family sagas. If they had the time to film Shah Rukh Khan in mustard fields in London, they had time to send one camera to Shillong. From the 1950s to 1970s, there was zero Northeast presence except Danny Denzongpa from Sikkim, who began his career in 1971 but was mostly cast as a villain or a foreigner. The 1990s brought rare tribal background characters in films, always unnamed or without context. The irony is thick because while Bollywood ignored the Northeast, the region's own filmmakers were creating world-class cinema. Zahanu Borua from Assam was winning national awards throughout the 80s and 90s. And his Halotia Sorai about Han Khai won the Silver Leopard at the Locarno International Film Festival. Aribam Shyam Sarma from Manipur had Ishano, screened at Cannes, in the Uncertain Regard section. But their work never crossed into mainstream Bollywood. It was only in 2000s that Bollywood started showing the Northeast, but in a very limited way. 2000s saw the rise of the Northeast face, for visual diversity in songs and ads, but still no lead roles. Sports biopics like Mary Kom or Akhone tried to spotlight Northeastern lives. Even in Mary Kom, Priyanka Chopra was casted as the lead role, instead of any Manipuri actress. Let's make a film about representation without representation. Lynn Lasharam, an actress from Manipur itself, questioned this casting decision. A girl from Northeast should have been cast to ensure authenticity, is what she said. Even Priyanka Chopra later acknowledged the problematic nature of the casting. There was also a lot of cultural context removed from the film, which turned it into any generic sports film. Films about insurgency or terrorism set in Assam or Manipur use the region as an exotic danger zone, not a place where ordinary people live. Even films like Chak De India that included northeastern characters with potential often made punchlines rested on their differences instead of their hockey skills. And this one is my personal favorite. In 2 states, when the mother finds out that his girlfriend is South Indian, this is what she says.
मैंने ऑलरेडी एक अच्छी और एजुकेटेड लड़की ढूंढ ली है ना मॉम।
हाँ पर उते मदरासन है ना तो कल तू कहेगा किसी उड़िया सामी कुड़ी नाल ब्याह करना है ऐसे थोड़ी होता है।
The implication is clear. Even cross-regional Indian relationships are more acceptable than bringing home someone from Northeast. The Anek dilemma. So the film Anek, directed by Anubhav Sinha, starring Ayushmann Khurrana, was significant for being the first mainstream Bollywood film to center a Northeastern story with a major star and substantial budget. Critics noted that Ayushmann Khurrana's character had a mainland savior complex. Set in an unnamed northeast, which state? Like, if you have watched the movie, you will understand. The location is actually Nagaland, but entire problem में blanket फेंक दिया है. In Arunachal, the major problem that usually comes up is China breathing down their neck. So that is a problem that is specific to Arunachal. But for Nagaland, for many years, insurgency was a problem. The film's location is very vague, only northeast is mentioned. Lumping the diverse region into one generic zone is part of the problem. So what is the real world cost of all this? When Ladakh appeared in Three Idiots, tourism spiked. Ye Jawani Hai Diwani turned Udaipur into a wedding hotspot. Queen inspired a wave of Europe solo trips. Pop culture doesn't just entertain, it attracts attention, investment, and even policy. When Northeast is missing from cinema, it becomes even easier for the rest of the country to overlook when floods hit, when roads collapse, or even when conflict arises. Clearly, people from Northeast have always contributed massively to nation building. Soldiers from Assam Regiment and Naga Scouts fought on the front lines in 1962's India-China War. The region has been a consistent source of army and paramilitary recruits. Some of India's greatest athletes come from here. Assam's tea plantations and oil wells have fueled the country's economy for over a century. Yet none of this nation building gets reflected in popular culture. But the violence is real. On January 29, 2014, Nido Taniam, a 19-year-old student from Arunachal Pradesh, was beaten to death in Delhi after shopkeepers allegedly began mocking his ethnic origin and East Asian physical features, calling him Chinky. The hashtag killed by racism trended. But Nido's case wasn't isolated. When COVID-19 hit, the racism intensified. One of my own friends came up to me and told me that she was spat on in Delhi after being called Corona. Delhi has been identified as the worst offender among metro cities for racial discrimination against people from Northeast. A 2020 NHRC study found that 81% of Northeast students in Delhi face racial discrimination. 81%, that is not a small number. Stories exist, platforms don't. Actors from Northeast India who have entered Bollywood face a fundamental struggle of being seen as ordinary Indians. Lynn Rasharam had criticized Bollywood's tendency to cast actors with Asian features and stereotypical roles. Even I went for a shoot and I was casted as the Northeastern girl, but when I went to the shoot, they were like, you don't look Northeastern enough. She says, being an Indian, in our Indian films, we are playing Indonesian roles, waitresses, Koreans and other characters, but not an Indian. Diversity would make it insulting. Andrea Tariang experienced this in Pink. While the film was groundbreaking, her character was a token, there to highlight racial discrimination. She was the one racially abused, reducing her character to a symbol rather than a fully realized person. So why does Bollywood do this? Why? Several factors contribute to this representation gap. Distance and cost. It's cheaper to shoot in Punjab or Gujarat than transport crew to remote Northeast locations. Producers think that Hindi-speaking audiences won't relate to Northeast stories, but good storytelling transcends geography. Lack of insider voices. Few writers or directors from Northeast get budgets or platforms for authentic storytelling. Industry networks. Bollywood remains dominated by certain regional networks or film families, making it harder for outsiders to break in. So what is exactly missing? Normal life. Everyday culture, weddings, festival, food, fashion almost never makes it to the screen. What's missing is stories where Northeast is just normal life. A romantic thriller in Imphal, a family drama in Kohima, a detective thriller in Shillong. Stories where Northeastern people aren't just symbols but full people. Ask an average Bollywood fan to name one movie from Assam or Nagaland, they will be blank. And of course, Bollywood isn't the sole cause of racial discrimination, but it has a huge impact to change things. So if Bollywood won't show it, we have to do our part. Assam represent. You should check out films like Village Rockstar, that was India's official Oscar entry. It is a miracle that is created with barely any crew. Amis, which is again an Assamese film made in 2019. It is a love story, but it's nothing like what you're expecting. Bulbul Can Sing, another Reema Das film that featured at Toronto International Film Festival and won the National Award for the Best Assamese Film. Three Smoking Barrels, Manipuri film. It's an ambitious film made by Sanjay Dev, covering wildlife crime and insurgency. Loktak Leh Rembi, it's a Manipuri National Award winner set on the floating Loktak Lake. Crossing Bridges, Arunachal Pradesh, even streaming platforms are starting to notice. For example, Patal Lok on Prime Video included a nuanced Manipuri subplot showing a migrant life without cheap jokes. So what can actually be changed? Cast Northeastern actors as Indians, not foreigners. Hire Northeastern writers and crew for authentic stories. Set films in Northeast without making them about conflict. Normalize Northeastern culture like we normalize Punjabi weddings and Gujarati garbas. So the next time you watch an all-India Bollywood film, pay attention to what's missing. If one whole region is erased, people grow with no sense of diversity. Because until we demand stories from every corner of India, we are living in a crop version of our own country. Thanks for watching. If I mispronounced something, I'm extremely sorry. Comment if you have any observations of your own. It took a lot of effort to make this video because पहले मेरा phone खराब हुआ, फिर मेरा mic खराब हुआ, आज मेरा light खराब हुआ. Comment if you like it. And if you don't like it, then also comment because we will fight.
ऐसा मत करो मेरी जान, लाइफ में कुछ अच्छा करो.
Subscribe if you want more. Bye.